So just to give you an idea of the size of the pond. Take a look at that. It's beautiful, like glass out there today. So I just threw a little food out for the, a couple bass just hit right there. So I threw a little fish food there. A lot of turtles will come here, and a lot of the brim, the perch, bluegill, they come in, and then they bring in these big bass. So I don't know if you can see the brim down there right now, but there's a lot of fish down there. And then you'll see these 4-5 pound bass come in and just hit them, just like you just did right there. But look at all these turtles. Every time I come out here, they know I'm going to give them food, so they just swim. They swim up here. And sometimes I have over 20 turtles here, hundreds of fish, and then this draws in the big bass. So it is just an amazing ecosystem. How can you not love it? I mean, this is like heaven on earth to me. And of course, look at this guy on patrol at all times. What's up, big boy? What's up? Always on patrol. Got a little paint on his tail. He's turned out to be a pretty damn good little dog, I'll tell you. Not little, because, I mean, you got to be almost 55 pounds right now. And yes, he does eat a lot of food. He does. And he likes lots of attention. And I love him. I love him. Yeah, I love him. Such a good boy. But, there's a bass right there. That's a good 4-pound largemouth right there. You probably, if I had a polarizer on here, you might be able to see him. But he's lurking in about 2 feet of water right now. Looks like a damn shark out there, big boy. So he's going to try to hit one of these brim. Oh, there's a big one right there. He just moved the water. That was another 3.5, 4-pounder right there. Big one. Big one. There's another big one right out there. So they're coming in, trying to hit the smaller fish here. Unbelievable. It is just absolutely amazing. It's eat or be eaten. Very, very cool stuff. I'm just feeding all the fish, the turtles, just trying to help everybody out and get everybody bigger and stronger. But anyways, talk about big and strong. Yeah. This guy right here. You good boy. You good boy. Yes. Anyway, stay tuned to the video. It's Wednesday, October 15th, 2025. Thanks for tuning in today. A lot to talk about. Metal prices right now, absolutely soaring. We're going to get into that, talk about the economy. Really quick, I forgot to mention a couple days ago, I had a trespasser on the property fishing in the pond. And I forgot to mention this, but it is a reminder that no matter where you live, you have to be careful. And even in remote areas like this, you may have to confront somebody on your property. So I had to confront an individual who had parked their truck on the other side of the pond here and was fishing. Now, I roll up on this guy. What are you doing here? Do you have permission to be here? Which I know he doesn't, because I'm the only person here, and he didn't call me. And he goes, well, Mr. So-and-so, said it was okay to fish here. Well, Mr. So-and-so, I was very polite but stern, does not live here anymore. So it was the past owners that had given him permission, and I made him aware, brought it to his attention. They don't live here any longer. I do. He can't be here. We got a little construction going on here. But I had to make him aware that he could not be here, that, I got dogs running around here and it's a liability. And, I'm not the last owners. I don't know you, don't mean to be rude, but you got to bounce. And he was very respectful, and he did. And so, even out here, you just never know. So, I'm always carrying, when I take even Turbo up for a walk around here, because you just never know. Of course, we have coyotes, might be a cougar out here. We have bobcats, but you may have a trespasser. Now, he was very respectful, very nice, no issues, but had to send him on his way. But you have to be prepared for anything. I just came out and I'm like, hey, there's a truck over there. What's going on? Who's here? So it keeps you on your toes, and it will keep me on my toes too, to be aware that you just never know if somebody's going to sneak in and try to fish in the pond here, because there are some trophy bass in here. They are huge. Yesterday, a couple 4-pound, about 3-4-pounders cruising in here, hitting the brim yesterday. Nice ones, but there's 10+ pound bass in this pond. The prior owner had a 9.5-pound bass that he pulled out of here. So there's some big ones. But anyway, so I have to be very cautious that somebody might want to come in and want to fish this pond if they know about it. So trespassers, definitely not allowed, and I will confront everybody if we have to call the police, whatever. Nobody is allowed here. And so I just want to bring everybody up to par with that, because I thought it was interesting that I had already had somebody on the property, but we still have cameras to go up, the security system's here. This person did make it up the driveway, possibly could put a gate up. But if we do the gate at the very far end, then, you know, UPS, FedEx, all of that, it's a real pain. We have a separate gate that is closer to the house. So I'm not really going to worry about it, but I'm definitely going to stay on my toes to make sure we don't have any more trespassers. And if we do, we'll deal with it. Anyways, shifting gears, let's get into what's going on here. Jamie Dimon says gold can easily go to $5,000 or $10,000. Well, gold's probably going to go to $5,000 this year. It could. Look at where we're at right now as I make this video late afternoon. Gold is up $73.83. Silver is up $1.96. So we're looking at $4,223 an ounce for gold. Silver $53.28 an ounce. You know, I remember just a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, these people that were just so insulted, so offended that, you know, I had an SD bullion link, and oh my goodness, JB's misleading people. Why are you buying gold? Why are you buying silver? It's going to $800 an ounce. Silver's going to $8 an ounce. Why are you listening to him? Why are you buying this stuff? Oh, he has an SD bullion account. He's pumping gold and silver. I hope every one of you, I don't give financial advice, but I hope every one of you bought gold and silver way back in the day, because if you did, you not only protected your wealth, you made a shoot load of money if you did. But, you know, these haters, right? I love them. They're some of my most loyal listeners, so I don't want them to go anywhere. Please stay. I want all the haters to stay here and keep watching my videos. You're the most loyal listeners I have, but you've been so wrong. The people that said I would not move here, wrong. Gold's going to 800, silver is going to $8, wrong. And then now people saying, I'll move back to California in 6 months. You will be proven wrong again. Don't listen to the haters, ladies and gentlemen. You know, go on your gut, go on your instinct, go with your own brain. These people are broke, and they know that they are the most unprepared people out there, that their time is up. They have no way now to survive what is coming. You do not want to be one of these people. Continue preparing. Continue being aware of what's happening in the U.S. economy. Continue stacking. Continue all preparations. Silver outperforms gold with 80% yearly increase that leads to now all-time high. This is, I bet you it's 85% now, 88%. It's over 80% year to date. Silver is absolutely having a massive breakout. And you know what? It's still somewhat affordable. I think it's going over $100 an ounce. Could be wrong. I can't tell anybody what to do, because things could implode tomorrow. And then the haters will come out of the hole and say, see, he was wrong. But I'm just using common sense here. I'm connecting the dots like most of you. I see the geopolitical chaos. I see war. I see inflation. I see an economy going into a very serious depression. I see the writing on the wall, and that tells me, and I see big trouble for the US dollar. I see the BRICS nations. I see what's going on, and that tells me that the US dollar is on borrowed time. And if the US dollar is on borrowed time, then where else do you go but gold or silver? You have to protect yourself. But at this point, people are actually making money off gold and silver. You don't want to own the paper. You want to own the real thing. And let me say this. Let me be really, really clear about this, because there are a lot of rip-off companies out there. There's a lot of rip-off con artists out there making videos. Do not buy gold, physical gold, from a company that does not put their prices on their website. We see way too much fraudulent stuff going on, questionable stuff, where you're going to get overpriced and ripped off. There's some really, really great companies out there. SD Bullion being the best. It's the only one I've dealt with for 8 years. You go to my link down below if you need some help. If you want to talk to somebody, you can call them, tell them Jeremiah Babe sent you. If you know what you want, if you want to buy coins, rounds, just go to the link. Go to the link down below. You can order this stuff. The most reputable bullion dealer out there, hands down, period, or I wouldn't be dealing with them. And there's others that are very, very good too. But there are some out there that will rip you off. They use con men to sell. And again, if they cannot put their prices on their website, stay away, run away. Some of the premiums that some of these companies are charging is, in my opinion, criminal. So stay away. Use a reputable company like SD Bullion, and you're going to be safe and sound. Article today on the hedge, where not to be in a crisis. We have to be aware, first off, that this just is not going to be an economic crisis, which, again, so many people make videos daily telling you about, it's an economic crisis. Homes are going to be half off, and RVs will be half off, and cars, and we're gonna go in and buy this stuff, and we're gonna get everything on sale, and it's just gonna be euphoric and fun and just a great time. This is not going to just be an economic crisis. It is not going to just be a recession. It's not going to be something that just lasts a year or two. This is going to be a full-blown Great Depression, ladies and gentlemen, and cities will be the worst place to be because nobody is going to help you. Look at what is happening to society, the societal breakdown right now. You add a Great Depression, you add food shortages, you add hyperinflation, you add a little bit of pain, and you're going to see the worst of people coming out. And you see some pretty bad people out there right now. So you want to stay away from cities. This is the worst place you could be. You don't want to be in Chicago. You don't want to be in Los Angeles. You don't want to be in San Francisco. You don't want to be in New York. You want to get out of these areas. Areas that are concentrated, that have a high concentration of people, are at greater risk. Even if you live in a nice neighborhood, you might live in a nice condo, a nice apartment, you might live in a gated community. Remember, people in cities, in the good times, don't even want to help people. Okay, in the good times, they don't want to help you. What's going to happen in the bad times? And the amount of crime, and let's not forget, the millions upon millions of people who are in this country, we have no idea who they are, where they're at, why they're here, what they're doing here. These people are going to get hungry, and they're not going to obey U.S. laws. It's going to be every man and woman for themselves. So again, you might live in a gated community. You might live in a nice neighborhood. If you live in a nice neighborhood, remember this: you don't live too far away from a bad neighborhood. And the bad neighborhood is coming to the good neighborhood because you got the stuff. You got the stuff. People will say, don't be ridiculous. It can't get that bad. I love when now people say things like this. Welcome to 2025, where anything is possible. In 2026, it'll be even more possible. But listen, history is what I listen to. And I hope you listen to history too, because history has never been wrong. People you know have been wrong. The people on the television, the politicians, they've been wrong. History hasn't been wrong. Read a little bit of history and see what happens during depressions and economic collapses and dollar collapses. And people say that can't happen. It's happened many times. It's happened here in the United States of America. We've already had a Great Depression. We would have had something much worse in 2008 if they didn't print a bunch of money, but they did. And now we're going to suffer even greater consequences because of that. They never fixed things from 2008. They just kicked the can down the road, printed a lot of money. And that's one of the reasons we're in the situation we're in right now. And here's an example. I was just reading some of these articles today. Rioters in Chicago hurl rocks at feds after illegal immigrant rams Border Patrol car. So Chicago doesn't look like a place you want to be. Here's another one right here. All hell breaks loose in Boston. I think this happened about a week ago, about maybe 2 weeks ago, as police crews are torched in premeditated attack on cops, says union chief. 100 people, believe it was a street takeover, torched a police car, pelted officers with rocks, poles, and cones. So now we see people in our cities attacking law enforcement, and we have an assault on law enforcement. So now we're living without rule of law. They say that this was very orchestrated. It was done on purpose. But you're seeing now in America the lawlessness on our streets, in our cities. So probably really another example of why you don't want to be in a city, because why did they do this? It was just for a street takeover. It was for entertainment. There was really no purpose. They just didn't like the police telling them that they could not take over a street. And so they purposely assaulted the police, broke the law, complete lawlessness. Here's another one. Mexican cartels put bounties up to $50,000 on heads of ICE and CBP officers. They're offering this to Chicago gangs. It says in two southwest Chicago neighborhoods, Pilsen and Little Village, local gangs have deployed armed spotters on rooftops to track law enforcement movements and relay the details via radio. This is in the good times, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, can you imagine? Now we got street gangs up on top, armed, on top of buildings in Chicago, spying and relaying messages via radios, spying on law enforcement. It kind of reminds you of like what the cartels do down in the border towns, spying on Border Patrol. I don't even know where I'm living anymore. Thank God I'm down here in Southern Alabama. I don't think anybody's spying on me, but yeah, it's just really unbelievable what is going on. KPMG. It's a company that provides audit, tax, and advisory services to businesses, cutting 195 U.S. audit staff in fourth layoff in 3 years. Amazon is planning a new wave of layoffs. Sources say 15% of its human resource staff going to be cut, with additional layoffs likely in other divisions. The layoffs just keep coming, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody can get cut now. Anybody can get laid off. Kaiser laying off 216 workers in California. Nobody's safe. It just continues to go on and on and on. Wolfstreet.com. Home buyers strike drags on relentlessly despite lower mortgage rates. Mortgage rates aren't the problem, ladies and gentlemen. The problem is these prices that have absolutely exploded over the last 4 years. The mortgage rates are absolutely normal. What are we at? 6.25%, 6.5%, somewhere in there. Anywhere from 6.5%, 8%, totally normal. What is not normal is what home prices have done over the past 4 years. And as long as prices remain elevated, the housing market is going to be completely stagnant. And it's going to be much more difficult for people to get out of areas that they want to get out of, because now they can't sell unless they have a lot of equity in the home. But if you bought a home in the last couple of years, you're upside down. You can't get out. You're stuck. And a lot of people have a mortgage 3% or less. They're stuck. They can't get out. So it's quite a conundrum many people are in. But, as I sit here just chilling out and just reading this stuff, the televisions are supposed to be dropped off today, and then I can actually really start following up with what's going on in the world. But I'm just, using a MacBook right now just to, get all my news, watch everything. I don't even have furniture. I'm just sitting on this old wobbly chair. But hopefully we get everything set up here soon. I'll be able to really plug into what's going on and watch these events take place and unfold. But it is not a good sign. And a lot of people are writing me, telling me I got out of California just in the nick of time. And maybe I did. Maybe I did just get out, because I will tell you, I feel in my gut something big is coming, that you do not want to be in a city. You do not want to be without some cash, without some gold, silver, some food, and especially security. Again, trespasser on this property, no problem, removed, no situation. But I'm aware that somebody can come over that hill and we could have a situation. I don't find that likely, but we're prepared to deal with it if we have to. That's why I have this dog. We're getting another dog. We have security, skills training. We have a security system here, and we have cameras going up in the next couple weeks. And, we'll add a few other things on the property too, to cover all bases. But what I'm saying is, if somebody can show up here, and the guy, look, no bad intentions, but he did show up on the property. And, you know, he was friends with the previous owner. So that does make a difference. But what if somebody came with bad intentions? I'm prepared to deal with it. Are you prepared to deal with it if somebody shows up at your house with bad intentions? You show up here with bad intentions, you're going to be dealing with a few trained people, a couple really big dogs, some gators, alarm systems, cameras, and the sheriff department, which is very, very, very close. And they've been here before, and they're a very good group of people, and they know where this place is, and they can be here very, very quickly in under 10 minutes. So I think we're looking pretty good here. But anything can happen anywhere, anytime. You need to be prepared for that. So that was just a wake up call that, hey, somebody came down the road and parked their car and got out and fished. Again, didn't have any bad, intentions or anything like that. But what if somebody did? What if somebody did? We at the Palm Desert house, we had what was it? I don't know, 8-9 months ago, we had the attempted break-in where somebody peeled the screen off the window and tried to pry the window open at God knows what time, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm guessing. Now, if they would have got in, they probably would have never gotten out, and it would have been a catastrophic event for them. But it can happen anywhere. That's a gated community in Palm Desert, California. And that person had bad intentions. This person didn't. So you might be in a gated community in a wealthy area and you think you're safe, but you're really not. So don't get a false sense of security, ladies and gentlemen, because you live in a nice neighborhood. I've seen too many multi-million-dollar homes where they've had home invasions or break-ins in LA County, Orange County. So if it can happen there, it can happen anywhere. I'm going to leave it there today. God bless. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking today. Really do appreciate all the love, all the prayers, all the support. Alabama's been great, really been great. Dogs are doing great. And I'm going to leave it there today. God bless. Take care.